Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Lunch Break Live, real talk about obesity, food addiction, recovery, and what's really eating you. I am Carrie Dela Cruz here today to talk about, of all things, you're not making it better. All right, so who knows where this show's going to go today? All I can tell you is I am really happy that you are here with me on this journey, and I do hope that you guys are willing to contribute your thoughts to make this more revealing, more impactful, more relevant. So thank you guys so far. I got to tell you about yesterday's show, kind of in follow-up to the show about obesity. Wow, I really loved a lot of the thoughts, a lot of the discussions that appeared both on the show commentary and also on my wall. There's a lot of bravery, and there's a lot of people who feel very passionately about this, very strongly. I think that obesity is not one of those things that we don't have very strong opinions about one way or another, especially if we have battled that demon or spent any time at all facing it in our lives. So I want to thank you all. I hope that I was very fair in my treatment of your comments and my questions, because I do not want to come across as being judgmental or harsh or anything else. I think that I have so much to learn from you guys by asking you honestly, openly, by asking for clarification and getting your answers. I think it makes me a better person. So, and I hope that you guys find the same thing holds true for yourself. So thank you so much for participating, for being here, for joining me every day. And hopefully today will be another revealing talk. Now, first of all, I saw some hearts going by, so I'm hoping that means you guys can hear me. Yes. Hi, Mama. All right. So today's show, what is this all about, this whole you're not making it better thing? Let me start by saying a couple of statements here. When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Have you ever heard that expression? I know some of you are like, well, at least I have a hammer. I didn't even used to have a hammer, but now I do. And some of you are like, oh yeah, but my hammer is really, really small and I can't hammer most things in, or I have really terrible aim, or my hammer's so heavy I can't even pick it up, which is getting me very close to the thing I'm going to be talking about today. But what about if I said, when you look for trouble, you always find it? Have you guys ever heard that expression? When you look for trouble, you always find it. The idea behind this is you see what you look for. You find what you look for. When you focus on negativity, complaining, whining, guess what? It comes back to you tenfold, you know, and it gets reinforced by other people who want to dive in and complain and whine and, you know, pig pile on the negativity pile, all right? And it compresses you down. It definitely doesn't lift you up. And so that's what I want to talk about today. You see what you look for. You see clearly what you focus your attention on. I think life is too short to focus on and look for only the negatives in our lives. Life gives you enough negatives without really even going and looking for them and lifting up rocks and going, gee, I hope I don't find a creepy crawly under there. There's always creepy crawlies under rocks. Leave the rock alone. You know what? You can quote me on that one. So anyway, here's what it is. I think it's probably worse when we're talking about bad news. Boy, bad news travels fast, doesn't it? I mean, even today, I just got a message like warning me about something that isn't even true. It's an urban legend. It's a hoax. You know, people care about this stuff, but man, they just latch onto it. They grab it and they send it along and just go, I just want to warn you about this really bad news. And it's not even true. You know, aren't we busy enough in this world with what we have in our hands? Aren't our hands already full enough without having to go out and glom on and grab hold of other bad news? And I talked yesterday about notifications. It was actually a post I had shared a year ago. I'd written it a year ago and it popped up this year. And then a lot of people turned off their notifications and did not know I was on Facebook Live. I think you overachieved a little. But the point is the notifications that we have on our phones, bing, bing, bing. It sounds like a casino, right? It's like, oh, I'm getting a Facebook comment to something that I commented on, 3 people ago. And now every time anybody else comments, and then they're going to comment on my comment. And then I have to go comment on the comment that I commented on. And then, oh, here's a Twitter, because I'm following this hashtag. There's a tweet. And then here is, oh, Pinterest. So-and-so joined Pinterest. You might know this person. Do you want to see what they're doing? Oh my gosh. All day long, we are accosted by notifications. But what other notifications do we get? Bad news. Fox News, breaking news, CNN, Yahoo News, breaking news, whatever it is that's popping up and letting us know bad news, right? And of course, it's the election season. There's no good news out there. I don't care who you are. There's not good news, when it comes down to politics anyway. So there's a lot of bad news. We are being assaulted every day by bad news. We're on the receiving end of that. And here's what I want you to think about, just to prove my point. Just for a second, I want you to think back on the last week, including the weekend. And I want you to think of 3 bad things that happened to you or that you heard about. Can you do that? 3 bad things that happened to you or that you heard about happening. 3 bad things. Can you guys think of those? I'll wait for a minute while you think. God, that was a long time. Was that a long time for you guys? Okay. Okay, now, I want you to think about, now, did those come to you guys pretty easily? I guess that's what I want to know. Were you able to pretty easily think of bad things? All right, now I want you to think of 3 really good things that happened to you or that you heard about in the last week. 3 good things. Can you think of those things? I know I should do Jeopardy music here. All right, here's what I want to know. Can't remember, says Mom. Here's what I want to know. What was easier to recall? The negative stuff, the bad news, or the good news? That's what I want to know. Chances are it was the bad news. We remember the bad news. We latch on to it. Of course we do, right? I think we're hardwired to remember bad news because we want to remember who screwed us, right? Who wronged us. We want to remember who did bad stuff or what bad things happened, and we want to stay away. Of course, it serves a good purpose, right? We want to stay away from stuff that was bad. If we got burned before, we want to remember that the stove was hot. Again, so we got to remember that. Bad, hot, bad, right? But we also have an amazing ability to remember bad news about ourselves. All the times we failed, all the times we screwed up for ourselves. Now, if we hurt other people, it's amazing how short our memory is, right? What? I don't remember that at all. Really? Did I do that? All right, so there's that. I don't know about you, but in thinking back, do you remember all of the Halloween candy that you ate, even if it was yesterday? All of it. Not the candy that you didn't eat, the candy that you did eat. Or for me, I love this, all of the Easter basket candy that I got when I was a kid, right? All the jelly beans. My very favorite part, by the way, was the last jelly bean that I would find stuck in the little plastic grass like 2 weeks after Easter when we put the baskets away. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I loved that. But anyway, I remember that. I don't remember not eating that jelly bean. I remember eating that jelly bean and not feeling, really great about it later. I mean, in the moment, sure, it was great. But the point is, we do tend to focus on the negative. We remember the errors and the mistakes that we made that hurt us. We may not remember the same mistakes that we made towards others. It's much harder to own that crap, right? Do you remember all the pounds that you regained and all the diets that you were on that you failed at? Do you remember the pounds that you might have regained? You had weight loss surgery and you've gained some weight back. Do you remember that? Do you focus on that? Or do you remember all the pounds you lost? It's really hard to say here, isn't it? All right, let's talk about getting hurt for a second, all right? Ever been in a bad relationship with someone? If it's fresh, you remember every little bad thing. And as you repeat telling, the story to all of your friends and friends of friends, and you start talking about that horrible relationship, guess what? You remember more details, and it gets worse and worse and worse over time. Now, if you didn't get super duper hurt, but it was just bad in the moment, over time, okay, it sweetens a little bit, and you kind of forget the bad stuff. But if it was really bad, you never forget, and I guarantee you it gets worse. The more you think about it, the more you talk about it, the more you tell it. Really, really bad, all right? But that's the past. Let's talk about the present for a second, all right? Let's talk about this. Are you a whiner? Are you a complainer? Maybe you are a victim. I have a headache. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I don't want to go. Do I have to do the dishes? I don't want to do the dishes, right? I don't want to get out of bed. I want to roll over and snooze for 10 more minutes. Whine, whine, whine. I don't want to work out. All right, not bad enough? All right, let's keep going. How much time do you spend on Facebook? Not with me. This time doesn't count. This is quality programming. No. How much time do you spend on social media and Facebook? A lot, a little percentage of your day? How many hours a day are you spending on it? A lot, a little? All right. I want you to think about this. There is enough bad stuff out there for like armies every single day. And if you don't believe me, I'm just going to share a few that I might have seen today or might have seen in the last week. My dog died. I got glass in my eye. I crashed my car. Someone stole my cell phone. I broke my cell phone. I didn't get that job. I'm in urgent care. Someone said I look fat. Someone blocked me because they don't like my politics. I can say what I want to say, even if you don't like it. If you were really my friend, you'd answer this post with one word reply about how wonderful I am. I know no one will see this because half the people on my friends list don't care about me. I'm cleaning out my friends list. So if you don't respond right here, I'm cutting you out. I'm sick today. I'm sick again today. I'm sicker today than I was yesterday. I'm better today, but I'm still sick. My friend is sick. My friend's dog died. I'm having a colonoscopy today, so I'm doing a Facebook Live video from the waiting room in the hospital. I hate hospitals, insurance, and doctors, by the way. Nobody cares about me. I'm at the hospital visiting my doctor because my insurance will cover this trip, but they're not going to cover any other follow-up visits. Trump is a jerk. Clinton is a jerk. I'm leaving the U.S. if X wins. You know what? You're just not a friend if you vote for X because I'm voting for Y. I broke a nail. I ate too much Halloween candy. See, here's a picture of all the wrappers of the candy that I ate. Don't eat Halloween candy. It's filled with bug parts. Yes, I did see that today. Did you taste the bug parts? Let's be honest. I never tasted bug parts in candy, so I'm going to eat it. And the fact that there may or may not be bug parts in it is apparently not going to stop me because chocolate cures everything, including little bug parts. All right, so it's just bad news. Did any of that resonate with you? Have you done any of that? I'm just curious. Throw me some, thumbs up or some mad faces or some hearts if you don't like what I had to say or if you've never experienced this. I see my mom laughing there. Anybody, just throw it out there. Is that a familiar experience for anybody? Bad news. All right. I'm not saying bad things don't happen. I'm not saying we don't feel bad about it. Of course I'm not. All right. But I think that it can be very easy to marinate in that misery and to have that pity party that I talked about and invite a whole bunch of people to come in and feel sorry for you, because if they feel sorry for you, that means they care about you. But do they only care about you because you feel bad? What about when you feel good? Do they care about you then? I don't really know. All right. I think that sometimes we emphasize it because we feel like we want to be needed and loved and acknowledged and hugged. So we throw something out there so that people will give us hugs, but they're not real. They're virtual hugs, aren't they? Or we throw something out there because someone will say, me too. Oh, that's horrible. And of course we have that me too connection. And we want to be like part of that tribe that says, yeah, I get that. My dog died too. I know that feeling. I get it. But over time, sometimes we get very good at complaining and whining and sharing the bad news because it's like bait. It is like chumming the waters for sharks and they hit it every time. Bad news draws people in all the time. Look at all the people that care about me. Look at all the likes to my bad news. People like me. They like my bad news. You see, they like me more. And if they don't answer, I'm going to cut them off from my friends list. But that's okay. Just a note, I don't think it's ever a good idea to threaten your friends. I just think to threaten the friendship and say, you're not a good enough friend if you can't think of one word to describe me. I think maybe intolerant, would be the word I come up with, or ex-friend with a hyphen, that's one word, whatever. I'm just thinking, I don't think that's a very good idea. And again, you may quote me on that as well. Here's my question. Okay, social media makes it really, really easy to go out there and share every little thought that pops into our head. Every little thought. Things that you would never think of sharing with anyone else before, all of a sudden you feel the need to share, to tweet about it. And I realized, you know what? We didn't just learn this in a vacuum. We've seen it. Celebrities do it too. And we're like, well, if they can do it, then I can certainly do it too. And if they're whining about a broken nail or a whatever, broken bra strap, or if they even wear bras anymore, I don't know. But, the point is, they share every little detail about their lives. Therefore, if they're doing it, we should do it too. And then we begin to focus on all of this stuff and elevate it in importance, when here is the real point of this. Is it really that important? What would happen if you didn't say it? If you left it unsaid? What would happen if you didn't say, I have a headache? Okay, you go, well, maybe I'd still have a headache. Or maybe that headache would go away. And then you wouldn't have to tell everybody, I had a headache, but it went away. That would just save some conversation. I'm just thinking out loud there. All right. Would you stand in the middle of a grocery store and shout the things that you are bugling on Facebook, especially about the person in front of you in line that you're probably taking a picture of and complaining about? Would you shout in the middle of the store, for importance, because then maybe one person might applaud or give you a thumbs up? And is that what you're looking for? Thumbs up, a smile? How many other people would go, shut up? God, who do you think you are? You're not that important. Whoa. All right. Would you open the door at home? If somebody knocks on the door, you don't even know who it is, you just blurt out the first thing that comes to your mouth. The person that's on the porch, even if it's the Amazon guy delivering your package, and you blurt out and you talk about, I had a mammogram today. Really? Would you really do that? Because you see, we don't know who's reading our posts, right? It might as well be the FedEx guy, and you're going to talk to him in great detail about how your boobs were smashed. Really? I'm not really sure about this. And yet people do it. How does that help? That's what I want to know. How does that help? Really? Does it really make people care about you more? Really? What about if you did something that would make people want to care about you because you're doing something healthy? You're taking care of yourself. You're being inspiring. You're being motivating. You're showing love. You're showing compassion. You're showing mercy. You're just quietly demonstrating. I don't know. I'm just kind of wondering. But when you focus on the negativity, I think, and you feed the negativity, then that's what you get. And recovery, is about reality, which is sometimes not so great, by the way. But I kind of think that we can amplify it. We can make it far worse than it is by constantly talking about it. Because think about it, when we're ready to move on, people are still commenting on it. So it's not going to die anytime soon, and it may come back a year later. You've seen those things pop up, and all of a sudden people are commenting, oh, I'm so sorry to hear this. And you're like, sorry to hear what? Well, that happened a year ago. Still bad news. So let's focus, I think, on more positive stuff. Instead of trying to get sympathy from other people. Instead of trying to demand someone's friendship or put terms on the friendship that if someone doesn't do something the right way, they're just not your friend anymore. How about focusing on real friends? The people that really, really matter. And it's true, we can have real Facebook friends. We can, but we can also have real friends that aren't just virtual friends. We can do that too. So I'm going to encourage you guys, next time you feel like you want to complain about something, next time look, we suffer, we struggle, we go through things. Some of us go through harder stuff. Absolutely. I'm not saying that people don't suffer. I'm not saying that sometimes we don't need a hug, because of course we do. I'm not saying that there's not some really awful stuff going on, but I think, when we look at people that rise above difficult circumstances, we look at people who have chosen not, in the face of adversity, they have chosen the different path. They have chosen not to sit and marinate in their misery, but instead to focus on the positive. What can I do instead of what I can't do? Don't we celebrate those people? Don't we say, wow, they are so inspiring because, they could have gone this route, which is the route I may have gone, but they chose to go this route. Wow, would I have been able to do that? Why don't we try? Why don't we try to be that person that we marvel about and then not crow about it and let somebody else just, discover it in us? Why don't we just do nice stuff and not talk about it? What would happen if we just did nice stuff and didn't talk about it? That's the other side of the spectrum. We're looking for healthy balance here. We're looking for a healthy dose of reality and not simmering on the stove and marinating in our little pot of misery. All right, let's rise above that. Let's work on being the best version of ourselves that we can be. That's my message for today. As I close in on that 50 mark, the 20-minute mark, I'm going to briefly glance at your comments to see what you guys have to say about this. And then I'll let y'all go. All righty. Let's take a look-see here. I see lots of stuff floating by. Look at me. Probably drooling from the excitement. All right. Now, Mom, don't call me and tell me not to tell people I drool. Just don't do that, okay? I mean, it happens. Sometimes I drool and then I say something about it, but don't tell me I'm putting myself down. It's okay. I'm not. I won't talk about drooling anymore, okay? All right. I'm glad you're here. All right. No, I really am. I know it didn't sound like it, but I really totally am. Hi, you guys. I'm so glad that we are forming this wonderful community. I say that every day, but I just totally love it. All right. So lots of hi-ing, lots of, okay, Mary, you agree that you focus on the negative, totally negative. That's the stuff that you remember. All right. But Kathleen said, I remember the good news. I think that's what you said, right? All right. And Diana made it. Oh, I see lots of friends. I find that I dwell on the negative. Absolutely. If we hear something negative, like if we get a whole stack of good news, like I get feedback from, when I talk, what's the one I focus on? The one where someone said, they didn't like my shoes. Really? Or I should have done something differently. Or I, the one that drives me nuts is when they say I should have said something and I'm like, I did say it. You weren't listening. But that's the one I focus on. I don't focus on the one where everybody says, I'm so glad you said the this and the that and the other, right? We focus on the negative. Absolutely. Our job is to just, statistically speaking, if there were 1 out of 25 that was negative, that wouldn't even rate. That one would be part of the, statistical, margin of error, the statistical margin of error, plus or minus. That would be thrown out. It wouldn't even count, all right? Yet that's what we focus on. We focus on the statistical margin of error, the standard deviation, if you will. See, we're focusing on the deviation instead of the other side of deviation. I got an A in statistics. All right. So I find I dwell on the negative. See, there you go. We all do it. Regain. Focus on the regain. Of course we do. Do you remember, all of the cookies that you ate, or do you remember all the carrots that you, suffered through? The carrot sticks. I'm pretty sure you're focused on the cookies, not the carrot sticks. That's just the way we do it. Having a headache. I think when you have a headache, it only makes it worse the more you talk about it. And I know I'm guilty of that. I work on that. I work on shut up, Carrie. Just shut up. Don't talk about it. Just don't talk about it. Just let it go. Just let it go. You don't have to tell the world that you're constipated. You just don't. I promise. I promise. Because all people are going to do is they're going to tell me how to cure my constipation. They're going to say, take fiber 1, eat more fiber. You don't have enough fiber in your diet. You need more roughage. Maybe you're eating too much. You're not drinking enough. You might be dehydrated. Have you tried Metamucil? Have you tried X-Lax? Oh my God. Don't talk about constipation, okay? It's just, again, you may quote me. All right, let's see here. I am bad. You stop that, Kathleen. You stop that. You have been at this show enough to know that you are not allowed to say that you are bad. You made unwise choices, and next time you will make healthier, wiser choices that lead to recovery. You are not bad because you ate cookies, right? And we are not going to focus on that anymore. I'm just saying. All right, let's see here. Sometimes it's the only place to vent. Okay, but let's think about this for a minute. Do we choose who we vent to, or do we just have to vent to the entire world? It's just a thought. Do we vent to a close friend and say, okay, I just need to vent right now, And by the way, what is the resolution? Do we, maybe we're looking for agreement. Maybe we're not sure about our opinion, but if we get a bunch of people going, yeah, you tell them, you go. Do we feel stronger and better about it? Are we going to go out and now vent some more because we had such a good result from our venting? I don't know. It's just a thought, but I'm just thinking, do I want to be known for venting? Okay, ranting is different. I'm ranting right now. Do I want to be known for venting, about spewing negativity, or do I want to be known for, being compassionate and being uplifting and inspiring and not being phony, but just focusing on more of the positive? If you look for the negative, you'll always find it. You'll always look for a reason to vent. I'm just saying this can be an addiction for us. It can be an addiction to be angry, to be negative, to marinate, because we collect what we believe is sympathy from others. But it's not real. It's not genuine. Yeah, it's a shared human experience. But don't we really want meaningful relationships that are based on more than negativity? Don't we want that for our lives? I think so. Garbage in, garbage out. Exactly, Nancy. And I was going to say GEICO. Garbage in, garbage out. Watch crap on TV, feel like crap. Eat crap, feel like crap, right? You watch bad news. We've got murder programs, you know, on our DVR, right? Homicide Hunter and 48 Hours and Dateline, and we're watching and Forensic Files and all this. Oh my God, all these people dying. And then we flip over to American Greed so we can watch about all the bad people who are cheating other people. And guess how you feel when you're done watching that crap? You feel like crap. You've lost hope. You feel like people are bad and terrible, and oh, why do I'm going to pull the covers over my head. I don't even want to set foot outside because it's so bad out there, right? When we surround ourselves, when we put the garbage in and the bad news in, then we feel bad. That's why it's so healthy to focus on things that are inspiring, listening to music that is uplifting, reading motivational quotes or books or things that make us feel good. And yeah, even a little escape sometimes to a good, happy place that's other than the reality, which can sometimes be a lot. So when I'm looking for balance, if it is that we tend to be more on the venting, negative tangent, you know what I mean, path, what about if it brought us back and we said, tell you what, I'm going to leave 5 things unvented today. Like that, right? That's what I'm going for, balance. All right. We used to write it out in our diaries. Yeah, and you know, but then we had a lock on our diaries, right? And most people didn't have the key to that. Drool happens. Thanks, Mom. All right. So I thought that is all weight loss people talked about was poop. There you go. And dehydration and getting their water in and all of that stuff. So church makes me happy, taking time for prayer rather than event. You're exactly right. For me, Diana, that's exactly where I go with it. You know, in the morning, I spend my prayer time in the morning and then working out in the afternoons or evenings, ideally. That's kind of the balance I'm going for. But yes, when we put the good stuff in, hopefully the good stuff sticks around. Hopefully that good stuff can blossom and bloom, all right, and make us feel better. So I have ranted on enough. I'm going to let you guys go, but I am really grateful that you were here to talk about this stuff. I love your feedback. Love, love, love it. You guys are brilliant, wise people, whether you believe it or not. I'm not just blowing sunshine up your skirts. I mean it. Who knows what I'm going to talk about tomorrow? Maybe I'll do what? Your input, my output tomorrow? You tell me, do you want to do a Q&A? If so, be thinking about those questions, all right? And, you know, throw them out on my wall, something like that, especially for my little Kiwi friends there like Diana, because you're in a different time zone and you wouldn't see if I posted it today, this afternoon. So start thinking about your questions for tomorrow and let's do a Q&A. I think I'm ready for that. I don't know about you. So, man, oh man, it is late. I need to sign off now. I'm going to remind you guys all to think good thoughts, put the good stuff in, leave at least 5 negative things left unsaid every day. Or, okay, if that's too hard, start with 1. Start with 1 and work your way up. Leave it unsaid. You won't die if you don't complain about the way somebody parked in the Walmart parking lot. I promise. All right, you guys have a great day. Remember to have courage, seek peace, embrace joy, and above all, live that balanced, real recovery. You can't stop feeding what's eating you if you don't know what's eating you. Let's talk about it more tomorrow. Take care, you guys. Bye.